Hey guys, welcome to episode 6. As you can see, I've been cruising around the world finding some hard drives. I've also managed to get a whole lot of immersers, but I'll show you that just now. So what happens is as soon as you've scanned the hard drive, like this one's just finished now, you'll see it gives you a choice of 2 different rewards. And if you're not interested in those rewards, you can click rescan the hard drive. So I don't like having screws in the network. I don't have a need for biocoal. So I'm going to click rescan hard drive over here. And that actually gives us 2 other choices. Oh, that's awesome. We got the solid steel ingot one. That's going to be so cool for our factory, guys. So currently we're underclocking to 40. As you can see, this is going to allow us to go to 60. That's pretty damn awesome because we've currently got the factory already going 40-40 with underclock to go 40. This is a nice find. So definitely going to select this one for the reward, which is going to be perfect. So that we can do in terms of the MK4 research now to actually go and expand the network and get everything running. But before I jump into that, let's actually have a look at the spreadsheet and see where we are. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet. I've thrown on the extra items. So this is everything that our factory is currently making in its current state. And you'll see the 2 additions that I've added is the motor and the AI limiters. But although I'm making them at very small rates, I'm only making 5 AI limiters because I didn't want to make any more by hand. And the motors are making at 0.1 of an assembler. So only 10% of one assembler. And that's just to get us the motors that we were going to be needing for the oil processing to make the plant, which is the actual build of today's episode. And you'll see what we can do is we can actually increase this. But if I do make this 1, for example, and we produce 5 motors, you'll see the spreadsheet updates and we're going to be short rotors and stators. So then we have to go to the stators, we have to increase that. Okay, and then we're going to be short pipes, but we're still short the rotors, so let's increase the rotors to 4. Okay, so now everything in this section is looking good. The only thing now is that we can see we're going to be short screws and short pipes. So to make this motor run at 1 instead of 10%, we're going to be needing to increase the steel pipes and we're going to be needing to increase the screws. Now, you'll see that that's going to mean that this one over here, the rotors, we're going to need 400 screws per minute. And that's where the MK5 or the MK4 belt that we're going to be doing the research now makes such an impact, because then we can just take those screws, put them into the network, and then we're sorted. So let's do the MK4 research as our starting point over here. And you'll see for that we're actually going to need some rubber. And luckily enough, while I was cruising around the world getting the hard drives and the Mercer spheres, I actually found quite a lot of rubber from the different wreckages, which has been really cool. So we didn't have to use any tickets or anything, but you'd still be able to go and buy those from the tickets, the shop, as soon as you've done the research. So I'll show you that now, just in case you want to do that rather than go and explore as much as I have. And I'll show you the map now of everywhere that I've been. And just a tip, I did find extremely good stuff in the desert, guys. In terms of the Mercer spheres, in terms of slugs, in terms of hard drives, highly suggested here because there's no debris or no growing or no vegetation, nothing in the way. So you can get a nice vantage point and see a lot of stuff. Thinking about this and looking there, maybe it's a good point to start the factory just because it's so easy to find the additional things that you need, guys, which is really, really cool in terms of stuff. Okay, so let's just go and get the remaining frames that we need. Let's go and hand those in. And then we can unlock the MK4 and then listen to what Aid is going to tell us.
Milestone reached. The transportation of resources can reach new heights of efficiency. With the Mark IV belts and lifts, the truck, but even more importantly, your effort. Handling a large and complicated vehicle like the truck should come easy to a well-trained pioneer such as you. They are an obvious improvement over tractors concerning industrial purposes. Improvements for personal use were not measured.
Personal use not measured. So you ate it. Okay, cool. So let's go jump in now. Let's go mark that off as the research being done. So now we can actually go and enhance the screws and enhance the steel, especially with the new recipe we got, which is awesome. But before we do that and focus on the main build, let's actually do some of the dimensional depots. So using some of the things that I've found, the Mercer spheres, we're now able to construct a whole lot of these dimensional depots. So let's put one on each of our storages, guys. I think that'll be nice. And then what we can do is we can use the Mam Research to actually flesh that out, which will be even cooler. Okay, now we need some wires. How crazy is this? Dimensional depots on everything, guys. This is going to be cool. Okay, what are we missing now? More wire. Cool. Now, here's the 2 extra items that I've added. These are the ones that are producing at a very low rate. And like I said, that's just for getting this episode going. So I'll show you that and I'll take you through it as soon as we beef it up. At the moment, let's just connect all these new ones that we put down now. Or put up. This is so cool. It's going to be so nice to have all these accessible in our inventory, guys. You can just see how they did that as well. They just make it scrollable. Yeah. How awesome is that? Okay, cool. So now we've got all of those. Let's see how many immersive spheres we got left. 18. That's okay. Okay, so let's go and have a look now at the MAM, what research we can do in terms of affecting the alien technology. Okay, so let's select that. Let's have a look. Okay, we definitely want to do this one, the upgrade limits. I think at the moment it's only set to 15, right? If we go and look at one of these depots, what does it actually read on the depot? Yeah, so it's doing 15 per minute, and it's got 1 stack of 200. So if we go over here, back to the research station, we can actually increase that using the alien technology one, and we can beef it up from 15 to 30. So let's do that. That'll upload faster, which will be really cool. And then I see there's also this one over here for the stack increase.
Dimensional upload speed increased. Part of the kinetic and thermal energy released during matter conversion has now been repurposed to aid with dimensional shifting, allowing for more parts to be transferred in a short time frame.
Nice. Okay, so now we've made that go up to 30. Let's see if we can actually increase it a bit more.
Dimensional expansion increased to 200%. Refining manipulation of
Let's
SAM
do it.
allows
60.
us to now deconstruct non-living matter.
Nice. Okay, so now 60's gone up, guys. Let's have a look quickly at the depot. Oh, that is much nicer. So now we increase that to 60. We've got that coming in nice. And that means that our inventory is just going to fill up so quickly with all our items that we need. How awesome is this? Man, what a game changer, literally. Look at this, guys. So cool. Okay, I don't think we got any more as the immersive spheres we can throw at that. I'd like to possibly keep a couple more. Let's just have a quick check. That one's 5. That one's another stack increase. We need more immersive spheres. That one we need more. Okay, so I think we've run dry on that. Let's look at the next one. Is going to be the summer sloop. And if we have a look at that, the research that we can do along that chain, I actually found a summer sloop right here by base. So if you guys want to, because obviously you're not going to be able to scan for it initially. So if you use the scanner, we've currently only unlocked the immersive spheres and the power slugs. But I found it, I think it was right over there, on top there, the summer sloop. So let's go and grab the summer sloop from the inventory, or from the hub storage, and we can go and hand that in and see what that resource chain does as well. Okay, technology, research. Let's see what Ada says about this.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy is pulled directly from distant sources with no latency or loss, and shows significant enough similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
There we go. Now we've got the ability to track the object scanner. That's awesome. So if we go back to our scanner now, there we go. Now we got the summer sloop. I don't exactly know what they're used for just yet. Let's have a look over here, see what other research we can do. Cool, so let's do that one, the alien harnessing. That's going to unlock this, the augmenter, and the production amplifier. That sounds
Potential
impressive.
for harnessing alien energy completed. Fixit has identified 2 development tracks requiring additional research to integrate summer sloops safely and efficiently into Fixit technology.
So it seems like it's the power augmenter, or the production amplifier. Those are the two different chains we can go through. Sounds super interesting. I like the production amplifier, but we don't have any more summer sloops, so I'll have a look around when I'm cruising around the map to look at those. Let's do some of the other Mam research now. So let's first mark off the dimensional depots, and let's start doing all the Mam research that we can. So I've specifically also picked up some of the nutrients that I've got from cruising around the world, so let's do those.
This fruit, dubbed the paleberry due to its tendency to stay light in color even when ripe, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available.
Look at that, guys. We finished the whole nutrient chain. That's awesome.
This fruit, dubbed the barrel nut after its distinctive color, is compatible with the human digestive system and has been added to the object scanner. Further research is available.
There's the turbo fuel, guys.
Nutritional inhaler recipe unlocked. Using this inhaler will restore health and also gives your skin a radiant glow that is connected to well-being and probably not radioactivity.
Probably not radioactivity. Good old Ada, guys. Okay, so let's see. We've got quite a lot of those. Let's do the next bit of research that we can here. Let's start at the start maybe and have a look. So we can do this one. That's going to let us be able to make protein inhalers. So that's cool.
Research completed. The protein inhaler can restore health in the eventuality that you have been carelessly damaging fix-it property.
Because we need 5 more DNA capsules to be able to do the next set of research. So let's go and convert the parts that we have into proteins, then we'll make some additional DNA capsules. Okay, let's do the next one. I'm just going to go through the MAM, do all the research that we can to unlock it, so we can stay ahead. That's going to let us be able to make a gun. That sounds good. Screws.
Research to develop the rebar gun is now available. When completed, you will be in possession of a tool effective against any local obstacles actively objecting to the fix-it mission.
Which one is the screws under, guys? There you go. Cool, so that's the rebar done, so we can actually make that.
Rebar gun and iron rebar ammo unlocked. Your ingenuity towards preservation of fix-it property has been noted. You earned a micro break.
A micro
and
break.
Welcome back. I hope you feel refreshed.
I suppose we must make some bullets. I'll just make something like maybe 50 or so. That should keep us going for a while. Okay, what other research can we do, guys? Okay, so that one's run its course until we get the oscillators. Alien technology we can't do anymore because of the Mercer. This one we can actually do, so let's do something here.
Power pole Mark II unlocked. This provides additional power connections compared to the Power pole Mark I. Zipline unlocked.
Okay,
when
so we can do
equipped,
that
the
one.
zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fix-It recommends not using zip lines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee.
Sounds challenging.
Stun rebar ammo unlocked. This applies a moderate electric charge to the target, capable of stunning small creatures and moderately delaying larger ones. This is quite, atomically, exciting. That was a physics joke.
Okay, let's have a look here. This one can be done. And slowly we're working through the MAM research, guys. This is awesome.
Medical properties of local mycelia established. New research options available. Medical inhaler variants. Vitamin inhaler recipe unlocked. Not only does it restore your health, it also acts as a preventative supplement against scurvy and other shortage-induced conditions. Unfortunately, it does not improve aesthetics, but Pioneer helmets are built to withstand extreme circumstances.
See, so the cool thing about these is that we can actually fully restore our health, guys. That's awesome.
Therapeutic inhaler recipe unlocked. It smells like fried breakfast-induced cardiac arrest, but surprisingly, it restores you to full health.
Okay, let's put away the things we're not using anymore. That's looking good. We'll keep those on us just in case we need to heal. Okay, and then I'm happy with the Mam Research, so let's mark that as done. Sweet, so the only thing left to do now is, as per the spreadsheet, let's go and look around the factory now and see what we can do to increase the screws and the pipes, because we're going to be needing more of those. And on the steel factory side, we'll take a ride that side, and we'll actually go and rip up what we currently have there. We'll replace the recipe now that we got that alternate, and that should beef it up quite considerably. So let's have a look this side at what we're doing with the screws and what we can do to actually increase that. So let's see. So I've added on this other floor here, and we've got two bolts. We've got this one coming at the bottom of 270 and this one over here at 270. We got two separate bolts over here, and I think we're not using this top bolt at all because that one's just been sent all the way through to the storage, but this one's being split. So what I'd like to do is let's split between these two, because the ones on this side for the rotors are also using screws, and the reinforced plates on this side are also using screws. So let's use the one bolt to come through for the reinforced and the other bolt to come through on this side for the rotors. So I'll do that split just now between those two and drive one that side and one this side. But the problem is, according to the spreadsheet, if we just have a quick glance there, you'll see what we're going to actually need is we're going to need the rotors coming in for 400 screws per minute. So what we can do now is we can actually use the increased bulk logistics that we've unlocked. So if we have a look now at our build screen for the logistics, we've actually unlocked both of those. So let's put that to key 3 and that to key 4. And you'll see that if I just go back there and I hover over that, that accepts 480. So the plan is then to increase this line speed for the screw to 480. That way this one can be served at 400. And then what we'll have to do is that this bottom one over here that's serving this side for the reinforced can stay the same. But this top one over here that's going to be going through to the rotors that we're going to need 400 will increase this belt speed. And luckily enough, this is the nice thing about underclocking, like I was explaining previously, is currently we're producing 33.75 from 8 of these, and if we look at 33.75 times 8, we get 270. So this current bolt is fully utilized to its maximum. But now that we've unlocked the 480 and we only need 400, if we do 400 divided by 8, you'll see it just happens to be 50. And if I show you what happens if we look at the constructor here, if I use a constructor with the recipe for the cast iron screws, by default it comes as 50. So all that we have to do to make this belt here run at 400, which is what we need for the rotors, is we just have to increase all of these to 100%. Then the last thing to do would be to go over here, which is feeding that top line coming through into the factory here for the ore, and increase that, and this will all be beefed up, producing 480. So let me go and do that. I'll do the upgrades to the chain, increase all of these, and I'll show you what this looks like after. Okay, so I've completed the upgrade to the chain now, to the logistics. So this has been upgraded to 480. All of these have been beefed up to 50, and that's been increased to 100 iron, which is exactly what we need to produce those 8 constructors, giving us enough items for the screws. And we've got the screws coming in here at 480. So the only thing left to do now is to start actually beefing up the production here. So if we have a quick glance at the spreadsheet, we're going to need to update the screws, because we're actually coming in now at 400 plus the 270. So what we can do is let's go over here, let's do equals, and we'll do plus the 400. So we got lots of screws, so now that's been fixed, and with that fixed we can actually do the assemblers for the screws and the rotors. So let's go from 1 to 4 now, essentially right where we're standing. So let's go back to the factory, and you'll see the reason why we have 1 is this is currently producing at 50%, that's producing at 50%, so these two combined is literally been running at 1 machine, but now we need 4. So let's increase that, and that's 2 of the 4 assemblers we need. So the last thing we need to do now is let's just go and jump into our blueprint, grab the assembler, look at placing that down here, that's looking good. H to lock it, let's move it into place. Something like that looks good. Yeah. Cool, and then what we can do is let's just delete this belt, and now we can start exclusively using this one. What I'll do is I'll have to upgrade the blueprints to actually make use of the new belt speed that we've unlocked as well. So let's send that power. Let's go and copy paste the settings in terms of what we need for the rotors across the board. Cool, and just like that, that's our 4 assemblers that we need. So let's go and link up the backs. Nice, now that's coming quick. Cool, and that's going to start producing now. So that's everything that we need in terms of our rotors for our factory, and that'll start building up and then start sending along our existing network. And then yeah, that'll be great. So that's sorted in terms of the rotors. Let's have a look at the spreadsheet of what's the next thing that we have to do. Okay, so that's the rotors done. Next thing is going to be the assemblers. Is the stators. So it's going to have a look at the stator part of the factory, and we need 3 assemblers making stators. So yeah, let's going to have a look at that part, wing of the factory that's doing that. So I think that's on the other side here. I must actually use some signs, and we'll get into that. We'll put that down on our factory as well. So again, it's the same sort of thing. We need 3 assemblers here. And currently what we've got is these 2 producing at 50. So these 2 combined are 1. So let's just throw on another assembler section. So let's go through here. Assembler wing, face in the right direction. H to lock it or hologram it. Let's move it into position just like what we did the other one. That looks nice. Same thing, delete this belt. Place it here. Link up the power. Copy the recipe. Cool, that's all done. Now let's link the backs. Cool, and then just like that, that's upgraded, guys. So what we can do is we can do our logistics as we go. That's coming quick. Nice. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so now the only thing to bear in mind is the stators are going to be good for some of them, but the problem is that we're going to be short steel pipes. So our current factory is producing 40 steel pipes. So if we just have a quick glance at the spreadsheet, you'll see what I mean, is we're eating resources that we don't actually have. So we need now to go to the steel factory to go and increase the steel pipes to make this run optimally. But before we do that, let's just quickly shoot to this side, which is where we're making the motors. And what we can actually do is we can push this one up now to 50%. And we can push this one up on this side to 50%. Thus we've got 1 assembler for this essentially that is making the motors. So all of that's been done in the spreadsheet now in terms of producing more items in terms of the motors, which is what we're going to need for the oil processing and the build. So the only thing left to do now, let's head to the steel factory, let's beef up those pipes, and then this will all be running optimally. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to prepare, get some items. I'll take the hypertube, I'll shoot through that side, and then I'll see you guys at the steel section. Okay guys, so we're about to arrive at the steel factory through the hypertube network. So let's go and have a look here. So excited about that recipe we got, man. Okay, just for some perspective, let me drop down 2 of these and show you why I'm so excited. This is the current recipe that we are using, and if you'll remember, we're just underclocking this down to 40. So we've essentially got 6 different machines, 4A12 coming from that, 4A12 coming from that, so 240 across the board, which means we're making 240 steel. I mean, if I show you, that's exactly what we're doing, is we're just underclocking. But now, if you have a look at the new recipe that we've got, look at this, guys. Just look at that. So now it's the same input, but instead of producing 40, we're producing 60. So now, instead of 240, we're going to get 360. So currently we've got 40 times 6, which is producing obviously 240. But now we're going to have 60 times 6. So we're going to go from 240 to 360 just by changing the recipe. That is amazing. So let's go and set that new recipe, and bearing in mind that we can hit the belt speeds over here. So what we can do is we can just increase this with our belt speed, which is fantastic. So let's do that across this chain. Again, nice way of building here in terms of the factory, so that you can just upgrade and get everything that you want. Nice. And then let's go and change the recipe, man. Okay, so let's change this to this and increase that to 100%. And that's that. Look at that, guys. Okay, so let's do this across the board. Oh, this now need iron ingots though. Okay, so the only thing we're going to have to do is, instead of sending down iron ore here, we're going to have to send down iron ingots. So that's not a problem. Let's just shoot up there and actually change this now. So let's delete this line. What we'll do is we'll empty this out. And then that's going to slowly fill up with the iron ingots. Let's just do this for now. Change this recipe back so that it actually just finishes off eating up the current resources that we've got on the belt. So we don't have to worry about that. Let's go up to the top and start producing the iron ingots that we need. So now we need 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we need 240 iron ingots coming down there from this factory. So what we can do is let's do this and flesh out this side a little bit more on this side. Something like that. One more. Cool. That's looking good. And let's delete that. And what we can do now is, what I should have actually done is just let that feed into that machine or that storage, and then we can empty off this belt. So let's do that. Just like that for now. That'll at least get everything that we don't want off the belts. Cool. Then we'll direct this through this way, something like this. Okay, and now let's feed this into our new blueprints for the smelters. So we want that to go this way, something like that would be good, I think. Okay, we want it coming to the back end of this one from either side. So let's maybe put this on this side here. Just use H to put it there. Yeah, then we can, what we can do is we can come through to the front, run from up there into here. So that's going to be good. So let's line this up on this one over there, which I think is perfect. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's go and get our splitter. Put our splitter on this. Drive traffic from the miner straight into here. Let's actually do a 90-degree here with our new pull tool. Cool. Okay, so that's going to be splitting through the resources. Let's put any left, any right, so that can go to the smelters. And now we've got 12 smelters here, and we've got 240 materials. So if we look at 240 coming in, and we divide that by 12, each smelter needs to be producing at 20. So let's go and copy the recipe for these ones and put this down to be 20 instead of 30. So let's copy that. Cool, and let's paste those across all of these machines. So that's that one, that one, that one, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and the same on the other side. Cool, then we just need to set power to this, so let's set that to get some oomph. Nice. Okay, so that's going to be coming in at 240 now. Let's go here, make this belt come through on this line, bring that down here. Nice, now we got our 240 ore coming in, which is going to be cool. Now let's go down here. This one should have eaten up all the resources now that we were, or that we had. So let's just clear this out. Okay, and then let's link this in now. And now what we'll do is we'll go change the recipe. So now this one needs to have the steel recipe. And we'll do this at 100, which is perfect. And this is obviously going to feed through the wrong thing for now, because it still had some of the junk inside it, because I forgot to delete those. And now our belt's got a whole lot of mixture on it. Damn it. Okay, so let's just delete these. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I think that's all done from that side. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to let this build up and get all ready. And then what we can do is we can add on the additional constructors that we need in terms of the pipes and the beams. So let me wait for that, and then we'll jump into this. Hey guys, our forge is now stabilized, so that's awesome across the board. So what we can do is let's use the 360 now for our constructors. So currently we've got 6, 12, 18. We've got 180 of the resources being used for our beams. And on this side we've got 30 and 30, so 60 being produced for the steel pipes. So that was our 240 before, 6, 12, 18, 24. So let's actually build another 2 of these to make another 60 here, and another one of those there to make another 60. That way we'll use the additional 120. So that sounds perfect. So let's throw on one extra set of the beams. So let's do that side and here. Link that up. Cool, and then on this side, let's go throw on 2 more constructors, and then that'll be used for the pipes, which is exactly what we need to beef this up. So cool, 2 there. Okay, let's get the splitter. Nice, let's just set these overflows. We aren't left any overflow, right any. Yep, that looks good. Cool, then this one has to be making steel beams, and then these 2 need to be making pipes. So let's set that to pipes, that to pipes. Copy this merger. Close up. And that should all be good. Let's do the final thing is just link up the power supply. So let's connect that. Cool, and then the same thing on this side. Nice, and just like that, we've got additional. So now in total, we've got 2, 4, 6, 80 pipes coming in. And on this side, we've got 15, 15, 15, 15, so we've got 60. So let's go and update in terms of the spreadsheet so that we can keep up to date with the things that we're doing. Cool, so let's bring that up. Let's go here. So now we've got 80 coming in terms of the pipes. And that's coming from 360 across the board, split between them. And then this one, we've got now 60. And now it's perfect. Now we're not going to have any problems in the factory because we've exceeding everything on the remaining. So that's great in terms of everything that we've got now. So I'm assuming while we've been doing this and waiting for those to balance, we've actually got quite a lot more motors. So let's head back to the hub and go do the additional research. Cool. I'll see you guys that side. Hey, we've just arrived back at base. Let's do some of the research, guys. So let's look at the T4. So first things first, let's use some of the resources to get our oil processing. And that's going to unlock the plastic and the rubber. And obviously we're going to need that in the additional phases that we've been looking at. So let's head back then. We can start doing this one. And you can hand in all of that. So we just short a bit of the pipes. Can we just grab some from our inventory? Or does it actually use some when you're doing it in terms of here? No, so we can just grab it from there. That's fine. That's really cool. Sweet, guys. So that's the oil processing done. Let's listen to what Ada says and we can plan it out.
Milestone reached. Crude oil can now be extracted and refined to produce various industrially beneficial parts. The byproducts of these processes will require careful management, but a capable pioneer such as yourself surely understands that. To improve efficiency, pipelines can now be optimized with valves to limit and balance their throughput. These were initially left out because Fixit did not want to overwhelm pioneers with complex pipeline management, but they have since been re-added after my impassioned defense of your capabilities.
We're pretty capable, guys. Clearly. Okay, so let's do the next one. So we'll have to wait for that hand to come back, so that's going to take about 9 minutes. And then what we can do is we can do the jetpack. After the jetpack, then there's one other one we can look at doing, and that's going to be the monorail. So let's select the, let's see, jetpack. That's going to give us nice inventory slots as well. So let's select the monorail because that's got more to hand in. And what we'll do is we'll start getting ready for that. So we need 1,000, 500, 250. And we should have enough now built up in our supply in terms of the motors. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so that's going to take a little bit more time. What I'll do is I'll go and check out the network here, make sure everything's running optimally, and then as soon as we've got enough, then we can do the next handed. But I'll wait for this pod to return, and then at least we can do the jetpacks for now. Cool, I'll see you guys just now when it's back. So the motors are all looking good. Let's do the hand in now for the jetpack, and what we'll do is while that's busy sending off and we're waiting for the pod to return, what we can do is let's go and work on some blueprints for our factory for the refinery.
Milestone reached. Fix-It has granted you the power of flight, provided you have a jetpack and the appropriate fuels. The jetpack refuels automatically while you are standing on a surface, and different fuel types will affect the jetpack's functionality. With this increased versatility, you will no doubt achieve efficiency levels previously unheard of.
Cool, so all I'm doing is the same thing that I've explained previously with the blueprints. Essentially, here's the console. We want everything coming this direction of the console. And the reason why is because as soon as you start placing the items, then it's going to start looking in that direction. So all that I'm doing now is I'm fleshing out and getting ready for the next set so that we can actually go to our location that I've sort of put on the map, which I'll show you just now. So let's get this all linked up and then have a nice basis to work from. And then we can start heading out and actually using this in the factory. So we're going to go and build the fuel plant soonish. So let's link all these up. Yeah, that's looking nice. Cool. Then it's just the power. So let's put one, maybe one per two. Let's do something like that. I like that. So we'll do like that, like that. That's looking cool. Okay, then that's all linked up there. I think that's a perfect blueprint for starting. So let's call this 2 times refiner. That's looking good. Yeah, and then essentially now what happens is if we go through to the blueprints and we use the 2x refinery, you can see it's facing the direction of the way that the item's going to go, and then we can just place these down, as many as we need down on the oil down that side. So I think we're going to have 2 different factories. We'll have one for the plastic and one for the rubber. But let's go there and then see, and then we can plan it out. So we can look at the numbers from the oil that's in that area. Because let's just clear that, clear the blueprint, get our items back. Cool. And now you'll see what I've done is we've got 3 hypertube locations. We've got one through the middle. Then we've obviously got the one on the left that goes through to the steel factory, and then one on the right that goes through to the coal power plant. So let's jump in the middle one, and that's going to take us through the place that I've actually built the platforms to, which is going to be the oil location. And that's just over there, down on the beach there. While I was waiting for the pod to return, I went there and started laying out some foundations and killed some of the beasts that were there. So we've got a fresh start to be able to start building the factory. So let's dive down. We'll go and look at the different oil nodes that are there. I'll show you why this is such a cool place on the Gold Coast beach here. And it's awesome for the oil just because there's so much oil for us to tap and utilize. And we've got a lot of power shards that we can actually use to overclock them as well. But bear in mind, we've still got the 300 pipe limit, so we'll have to deal with that for now. So we're not going to build something too mega, but it'll be something that we can at least get going with the plastic and the rubber. So here's the first one right here underneath my feet. So if we scan, it's this one over here, and that's a pure node. So that's going to give us, I think, 300 oil per minute. So if I just slap down an oil extractor on top of that, you can have a look. Cool. Yeah, so 240 per minute, and we can obviously beef that up, so that's going to be really cool. And then there's another one down this side, like right here, which is close to us. And then there's another one there. I thought there was another one here. Has it been removed? There used to be one of the beach over here. No, it's still here. Why is it not pinging? Oh no, it is pinging. I just missed that on the map. Yeah, so there's lots of locations we can go here. So I'm thinking let's use this one over here for the rubber, and we'll use this one over here for the plastic, something like that for now. So we'll build 2 different factories, one for the rubber, one for the plastic. Then we'll send the items along here, link it up to the top there, and then we'll get a train that's going to run and take it back to there for now. We can start our train network. So I think that's going to be really cool. So before we jump in and start that, at least you've seen where we're going to go and what we're going to build. Let's head back and we can actually start doing the next level of research, because by the time we get there, the 43 seconds will be down, the pod will be back, and then we can actually do the petroleum power. So we've done the oil, we've done the jetpack, the next one is the petroleum power. So I'll head there, wait for the pod to finally return, let you know when I'm back at hub. Let's do a little turbo for now. What timing with the pod returning, guys. Cool. Okay, so let's go through here, select the petroleum power, Now that's obviously going to require some more motors. Let's go see how many we got now. Then I'll show you the plan. Okay, so we got 46 of those, plus the... Yeah, I think we'll have enough in our backpack. That's awesome. Okay, so let's do the handle, everything that we do have. Okay, so the only thing we're missing is just the plastic. But now what we can do is let's take the tickets that we do have, head through to the shop, and see what we can purchase. So let's slap down one of the shops. Let's put it maybe this side. Where's a good spot to put it? Everything's not fitting nicely, guys. I think, yeah, like that. That looks good. I like that. Okay, so let's have a look. So if we do a search for plastic, it's only one ticket, and we've got so many now, guys. So that's pretty cool. So let's buy 2 sets of those, and then we can just go and claim it from our purchases section. Nice. Cool. And then we can hand that in for our fuel.
Milestone reached. It is my honor and privilege to inform you that the fuel-powered generator, as well as the industrial fluid buffer, are now available.
Yes.
Due to a lack of gold in your sector, Petroleum will serve as a suitable replacement to construct the fuel-powered generator. Your research into this element was valuable. In fact, you in particular are my most valuable pioneer, but don't tell the others I said that. It would be bad for morale.
I'm the best, guys. The best pioneer. Okay, cool. I'm just going through the list here and checking to see. We've done a scan. I did see that we've got the turbo fuel. I really like the turbo fuel recipe. It'd be really nice to actually soup that up and put into our generators. So I think I actually might take this. So let's do that reward. Then we've still got more hard drives. So let's actually go and do some more research. Don't know if I have them. Yeah, I got them on me. So let's do another set of research. I don't think there's anything that we've got yet that's actually going to affect the diluted fuel, but I'm happy with the turbo fuel. We'll see if we can find some sulfur to make some more compact coal. We can definitely select the inventory slots. I love more inventory slots, so nothing wrong with that. Some extra space. Looking good. Cool, let's see what happens with this hard drive research. But let's also go and mark off all the research that we've done in the hub now. So we've done everything but the fluid packaging. We can actually also do that, but we'll save that for another one. So let's mark off the oil's done, the petroleum's done, the jetpack's done. Next on the list is the trains. So that's going to be really cool to bring the items back. So let's have a look at that. That's going to need quite a lot more motors, but we can always spend some tickets. But what we'll do is we'll go build the main fuel plant now with the plastic and rubber in mind. And by the time we've done all of that and come back and ready to transport, then we should have enough in terms of the motors. Awesome. So that's all done and dusted. I'm going to head through that side. Can see you down there, and then we can start building our refineries. Okay guys, so this is what I'm thinking in terms of our factory. Let's make this line over here for the plastic, this line over here for the rubber, and what we'll do is the heavy oil residue from both those factories will put up on another level above this platform, and that'll hold our fuel generators that'll then process it. Then we'll just get the oil from here, feed it along there, and then the oil from here, feed it along there. And then we'll bring up both the plastic and the rubber to these locations. So what we can do is let's put down a wall here and a wall there. And we'll bring up the plastic, bring up the rubber. We'll feed it onto a train system network this side, run it back to the factory and onto our logistics. And then all that's left to do would be to feed it into the storage. So I think that's a really cool plan. So let's do that, and you'll see if I bring these down here to actually put them in, it's not going to go all the way. So what we can actually do to trick the system is build a foundation, 1 meter foundation, and just zoom it up 5 high, something like that. Not 6 high, 5 high. And then what we can do is we can bring down the floor hole literally to that exact same position. So let's bring it down here, and you'll see if I now do this, it actually can go into the floor hole. It just needs to become a little bit further back, like that, and that. And now you'll see when I bring down the floor, we can actually connect it in. So it actually allows you to go past the max. So let's do that. Bring both of those down in anticipation for sending up the resources that we want. And then we can just delete these floor holes. And then that's going to look really nice. So let's do that. Oh, that one didn't go through. Let me just jump up here and do that again. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, that's in now. Okay, now let's just delete these 5 that we placed for the foundations. And there you have it. So now we can extend the distance that we want. So that's going to be for the plastic. This one will be for the rubber. So we can head this down here. Put another wall here. That'll look nice. Cool. And then the same thing down here. Let's bring it to this slot. To this one. Okay, and then let's run this back here to the plastic side. Okay, and this one is going to be good over here for the rubber side. So let's just keep sending this one down. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to use our blueprints that we made for the refinery. So let's see the direction that we want, so we can use that big arrow. So that's going to come in from this side. So what we'd have to do is essentially we can do something like this. That's then going to bring it onto that. So that looks nice. So let's line this up and bring it close here. And then we'll just use H to put into the hologram. Then we can just line it up and then onto that block there. Yeah, that looks nice and centered. Let's bring it back here so that this one feeds onto this. Yeah, and then we can do something like that. Link that up, point it there. Cool. Now that's going to feed all the way through for our plastic. That's going to go up that side. Then what we'll do is we'll connect the oil to the back here, and then that can process. And then we can just come through and select this plastic recipe. But I'll go into the figures just now. Let's get the other one hooked up in terms of the plastic now. I mean, in terms of the rubber. So we want a little space for this excerpt here for the heavy oil residue. And then we can bring this a little bit closer because it's quite far away. But let's do another 2x refinery. And again, it's the same sort of thing. We want this, let's say, about here. I like that distance. And again, let's lock it in with H. Put down the hologram. Get the spacing right. Yeah, something like that. This can come back one more. And there's enough space in the front here to take items out of there or take the heavy oil residue. That's going to line up nicely. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and then let's line these up. So they can go like that. Connect to there. This can connect to this one. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so let's bring out the power now in terms of this network. So that's going to connect on this one. This one too can connect over here. Yeah, that's looking great. And then we can bring down that all the way through from our plant. And then we'll just run it through onto this connection. And then this can connect to the oil one that we're going to place down this side. So let's maybe see where our... Oh yeah, it's actually back over here, right? Let's just check. Where is our production oil? No, that's the oil one there. Yeah. Okay, so we can connect that one up to there. That's going to be looking nice from the back. Like that. Okay, and this one we need to be coming out at 300. So let's put in a shard over here. And then just increase this one to 300. Cool, and the reason why we're doing the 300 is because if you look at our logistics, we've actually got the MK1, we haven't unlocked the MK2, and that allows us to go 300. So let's do the same thing for the oil extractor down this side, except that this one's actually a normal node. So this one's only going to come out at 120, so if we look at this one here. But lucky enough, we can just throw in all the shards, bring it up to 300. So that's looking really nice. So now we can bring that out and start running it to the back of our plant this side. And that's going to be for the rubber side. So let's line this up. Oh, it's one more than I needed to. Okay, that's looking good. So that's going to feed into the back here. And that's going to bring in the crude oil for that. We've already selected those recipes, and I'll go into the more detail about the math as soon as I've got everything set up. Okay, so that's going to be fine for that one. Then we need to run the oil through for this one over here. So let's run it directly through on this bolt here, which is going to be pretty decent. So let's go and grab this, bring it around from here onto this one, 1, 2 back, connect this through. I think that's a little skew. Let's see. It needs to be one more to the left. Yeah, like that. Cool. Let's bring this across here. one more over. That's better. Okay, then that's going to be pumping nice in terms of that. So this one's going to come out at 300 when I do obviously have power. So that's going to feed to there. Nice. And then what we can do is we can just replicate this and extend this that way. Replicate this, extend this that way. Then what we want to do is these outputs all need to come up onto another level. So what we can do is until we get the nice looking architecture ones that does the raising quite nicely, let's just do a floor that can sort of just use the architecture. So maybe something like this. Let's match the heights of the refineries. Something like that. And then what we can do is let's bring up the architecture. I think that's actually high enough. We'll have a look now once we get it there. Cool, and then we can bring this now down all the way here. So let's zoop this. Okay, let's go see if it's high enough. Yeah, that looks good. Then what we can do is we can just take this foundation, extend it here. I like actually that it must come a little bit more this way. So let's do the same thing, just the same height. Just build it at the back here. Maybe not so close. Something like this. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. Let's just go and check the height of that to make sure it's correct. Okay, one more off here. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so let's go and do the same thing. We'll just get the architecture, throw it on this side over here. Then we'll just delete this one that we placed. Oh, keep falling off the platform. Okay, let's just delete these. Okay, and then we can do the same thing, just bring it down from this side now. Like we've got the back of the factory all sorted. Let's just zoop it. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Okay, so now let's cover up the top with the foundations. Something like this. I'll just do the first couple just to show you guys, and then I can always do that a little bit later. Just get the factory started. Yeah, something like that. Then what we can do is we can take the outputs from here. So this is going to be putting out heavy oil residue. We'll put this up onto the platform up there. Then up on the platform upstairs, we'll go through and we'll actually put our fuel generators. Or we'll put our refineries that are then going to process. So this is going to take the heavy oil residue. It's going to produce the fuel. And then from that, we'll actually put down generators on this side. I think that'll be perfect. So let's just get the bottom factory up and running. So what I'm going to do now is just like what this is done here. Let's just talk about the math quick. So this is producing 300 oil per minute. So that's producing 300 oil. And if we go and have a look over here at these ones for the plastic, this accepts 30. So we're going to have 10 here in terms of the plastics. And that's going to produce 300 or use 300 crude oil. That's also going to produce 200 plastic and 100 heavy oil residue. And then if we look at the rubber recipe, it's similar, except that the output is actually double that in terms of the heavy oil. So it's going to be 10 generators for the 300 fuel that we're using. Again, 200 rubber, just like the plastic. Except that this time the heavy oil residue is going to be putting out 200. So the 200 plus the 100 combined is going to give us 300. And if we look at the fuel recipe in terms of the residual fuel, we can have essentially 5 generators or 5 refineries putting out fuel. So that's going to be 200 fuel that's going to come out. And if we look at the recipe in terms of the fuel generators to be able to put power towards that, and we go and look at the type of fuel that it can take 20 fuel. So we're going to need again 10 generators. So it's quite nice. You just need 10 refineries for the plastic, 10 refineries for the rubber, 5 in terms of the refineries to put the fuel, and then 10 in terms of the fuel generators. And that's what I'm going to set up now. So let me get going on that. I'll build up all of the platforms here. I'll build out the refineries on that side, and then we can start getting going with what we need in terms of the items, and then we can work on the train logistics. Cool, I'll see you guys just now. And here it is, guys, the finished product. So here we got the 10 plastic at the back. We've got the 10 rubber over this side. Both of those are leading from this pipe and this pipe up into these two liquids over there. Those then feed into those 5 refineries that then put out fuel into this. That then goes through to our 10 fuel generators. So that's exactly what's happening. And you'll see now our power is looking pretty good. We've got now 5,000 of our max. Everything's looking very well load balanced. We've got over 200 plastic coming in, 200 rubber coming in, which is awesome. That's going to be going into those 2 storage units until we actually get our train network. And we'll start working on that now here to send it back to home base. But yeah, very happy with how it came out. So I've just put in a couple of walls along the sides and the bottom. And we can obviously make this look a bit better, and I'll do that over time. But I like how it turned out. It's looking really, really nice. Sweet, so I think the best thing to do now, let's head back to base. Let's take the hypertube. And what we can do is we can actually start doing the research then for the trains. And we can start putting that down on the network and then build it up to our main base. So let me head to the hub and we can check our research. Guys, I'm so looking forward to being able to make trains. Love the trains in the game. Cool, let's do the hand in. So let's get those, and this. So we're only a couple of short in terms of the motors. Let's go and grab some more motors. So glad we fleshed out and did more on the motors, guys. That's awesome. We'll take them all. That's the joy, I suppose. We don't really have to because we can always grab them from here, which is very cool. Okay, let's hand that in. Nice. Trains done.
Milestone reached. Trains are excellent for efficiently moving vast quantities of parts. Train logistics can be made more precise and complex with tools found in the railway signaling milestone. I listen to all my pioneers, often when they're not even aware of it.
Okay, so that's interesting, guys. It seems like the milestone is actually moved. Before, this actually used to be a part of the train milestone. Now it seems like it's separate. If we're going to have multiple trains in the network, we're going to need these. And in order to get these, we're going to need the PCs. And in order to get the PCs, we need the industrial manufacturing. So it's a good thing we're at least being able to make the plastic. So I think let's hand in this milestone, and then we can unlock the computers. And then what we'll do is we'll just use the tickets that we've got to be able to go and get the additional PCs that we need. Because when I was cruising around the world to go and get the hard drives and the spheres, at least I managed to find some computers. So we got 48 in terms of that. But we're going to need to hand in additional. So let's just go and get the cables and stuff that we need to hand this in. We'll unlock it, and then we can just use our tickets to go buy the computers, or the missing ones that we have. Cool, and it's just the frames. Let's just grab them from here. Is that enough? No, still need a little bit more. That's super interesting. I suppose the initial train wouldn't need it, but definitely if you're doing 2, it does. Cool, and then it's just the signal. So let's go and spend some of our tickets on that. So let's go to see how many tickets we've actually got. I know we're going to have quite a couple, because we've been chowing items. Oof, 137, guys. That's fantastic. Okay, let's go and do that. Now with that one being done, we can do the next one, the path signal, but we obviously can't do it just yet because we have to get the pod to return. But now we can go spend our tickets on some of the computers, and we only need 2 of them. So let's go and look for the computers now that we can actually buy them. Let's just buy 1 set, collect it from here. Okay, now we've got enough computers to hand in. Then I think that once that's done, then we can actually get back to doing the train network. And what I'll do is I'll lay down all the foundation that we have for the trains, because it takes quite some time, and then I'll explain and show you what I've done and why I've done it. Cool. So let's just wait for this to return. I'll hand it in, and then I'll see you guys on the train network. Cool, so I've come down to the factory that we've obviously made for the plastic and the rubber, and I've laid down the 2 different trains. So this is going to be the one that's going to be picking up the plastic. This is going to be one that's going to be picking up the rubber. So what I've done is I've just put down 2 trains. I put down this facing in this direction, and this one also facing in this direction with an exit here. So what it does is it just loops around here, heads all the way back along these ones where we said we were going to build the tracks, to the base over that side. That's got the receiving stations there, and that's what we're going to throw on the logistics belt. So the only thing left to do this side is to actually hook this all up onto our train stations. So we've got the rubber coming from this one and the plastic coming from this one. So let's get all those hooked up, and then we can start doing the transfer and bringing it across on the trains. So what we can do is we can also go through here. Let's set it up in terms of the trains. So let's slap one train in front here, something like this, and then just with its four freights, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's give this one the name. So then this one's going to be called the plastic train. Oh, sorry, this is the rubber train. Cool. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. So let's go grab our train again, put that down, the 4 different freight carts, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to be called the plastic train. Okay, and then let's connect these up in terms of getting the items onto the trains. So we just got to fill up these freight locations over here. So what I'd like to do is let's do something like this. So let's go and take our organization, something like the big storage, the industrial storage container. Let's put it like that. And then what we can do is we can do this and link it over the trains. So I think that'll be quite cool. Let's have a look like that. And then we just marry this one up. Nice. Cool. And then the same thing on this side. So we're going to do that exact same thing here. Well, then that's going to give us our trains enough space underneath here to move freely through it. So if we just do this to measure, it should be looking good. Yeah, that looks good. That'll fit nicely. Okay, and then that way now we've got the rubber building up here, we've got the plastic building up there. Let's just put down a series of splitters to get it into our train stations. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the different compartments. Go and link it up. And we'll do the overflow rules and everything just now, so let's just get that all sorted. Okay, another 4 on this side. Wait, was that the wrong side? I think that was the wrong side. Needed to be coming to this one first. 1, 2 more. Okay, let's link these guys up. Cool, then what we can do to even make it faster, which is a pretty cool way of doing it, is we can do 2 more on each side. And we can actually link the top one too. Let's do something like this. And now we can actually link both these inputs here. And then this is going to fill up very quick. Nice. Okay, so let's go and set all the overflow settings. So this is going to be left any center overflow. And that's going to be the same across the board for all of them on this side. So let's copy paste those settings. Well, then by default, these freights that we have are actually going to set to load the train, which is fine. So we can leave that on loading the train. That way when it docks, it'll actually put the items onto it. Let's do the same thing in terms of the splitters that we did on the rubber side to the plastic side here. Cool, that's all done and linked. And then it's the same thing here. This is going to set the rules. So it's going to be write any center overflow. Copy paste those settings. Cool, and then that's going to fill up our freights quite nicely. Okay, with that all being done and loaded, what we have to do now is actually take these back to main base. So let's go and set up the train timetables. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the plastic one first, and then we're going to go to the edit the timetable. We're going to put in the plastic pickup and then the plastic drop off. So those are going to be the two stations that we're obviously at the pickup, and with destination has already been sorted. At the destination, what we're going to do is we're going to fully wait for it to be completely unloaded, or wait 300 seconds. So that's a good way to keep trains off the network to make it less busy. So that one's done. We can turn that one on, and that's eventually just going to take off the plastic from that we've been loading to the freights, send it off to that side, which I'll take you to just now. And then it's going to do the same thing for the rubber train. So we want to jump in here, specify this is the rubber train, change this to be the the rubber pickup and the rubber drop off, and the same thing, the rubber drop off, we want to wait till it's fully unloaded, or 300 seconds, whichever happens first. Save that, and we can actually ride this. So let's quickly jump on the other train before it rides off into the sunset. And what we can do is we can take that back to the main base, and then I can show you the logistics. So what I've done is I've actually put down these little breakers in between, so that's going to be the block signals, and that just helps trains not go into each other's paths. So let's say we didn't have these, the trains wouldn't be able to run dual concurrently because they'd be on the same color network. And I'll show you what I mean by if I just jump out the train station just now, because each one of these blocks just makes a different color, which allows different trains to enter those different colors at any given time. So these are just sort of markers that allow multiple trains to run in current segments. So if I just jump out of the train now and I look at doing this, you'll see that these are running on different colors, and those are what the block's actually doing. So those trains, only one train can be on one color at a time. So it's a way for you to organize what trains or what logistics are happening on your network. Then what I've done is the same thing that we did over there with the splitters coming in to the freights. We've actually got the mergers coming out of the freights. I've got those linked into the actual storage units, and those storage units are now feeding into our factory. So I've gone through the factory, thrown on two levels. The first one being for the rubber, which is being dropped off now, and then the second one for the plastic that's in the distance over there. Oh, other way around. This one's the plastic, that one's the rubber. So this is slowly going to load into these machines or these storages. That's then going to take it off the train, put it into here, feed it onto the network, and thus it's going to drive it all the way through to our storage unit over here. So we haven't linked up the storage, so we'll go and finalize that, but that's what the train's doing. So now it comes through, drops off all the items, and then those just get sent through to our mega factory for processing. So we now can actually use the plastic and the rubber in our factory. That's going to be really cool. Okay, so let's head back now to the factory. What we can do is we can link up the two missing pieces now. So we're going to link those on this side because that's been made by a separate network that's been brought on. It's not made by the mega factory. So let's throw in two more walls, one there, one there. Let's throw in the two different storages, just like what we've done before. Let's climb up here. Cool, then what we can do is we can just go and get our splitter. So let's look at the splitter at the top section in line with this one. Yeah, looks good. Bring this down. Connect that up. And the same thing on this side over here. So let's do that. Splitter again in line with this. Bring that down. It's a little off center. Let's bring it a little bit more to the left side here. Yeah, like that. Oh, it's a little bit too much to the left. That's looking good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's link this one up. Okay, then all we have to do is link up the fronts. And then go change the settings on the overflows. So let's jump up to the splitters. Okay, and this one we want to be left any. Center overflow. And we want that same setting for the other. So let's go to this one. Paste it on there. And now what's going to happen is it's slowly going to come around, but we have to actually go and specify the same rules that we've got on the middle platform here. So currently the rubber is just waiting and the plastic is just waiting because we haven't set these rules up. So let's go write any. That looks good. And the same thing for this one, write any. That's sending it along the network now. And now that's just going to go to our storage, just like what we've done for the other ones, guys. So let's have a look here. So here it comes. Nice. And we've got it leading into our main factory, which is awesome. The only thing we have to do now is let's actually pull them off in terms of the additional sinks. So what we can do is we can actually extend it through that way. So let's go across here. We can actually pull this down. So let's do something like this. Okay, now let's put down another one right in the center of this. Like that, looks good. Then what we can do is we can just go all the way to the top. Let's bring down the rubber one. So let's just make sure it lines up here. So that's going to be coming through on this belt. Like this. Yeah. And then the same thing what we'll do is for the rubber. So let's go in between these two. Another splitter at the top. Cool, and let's link these ones to power, just like what we've done for the other ones. So let's bring this over this way. Okay, those power sources. Cool, and the only thing left to do is to go up to the top and go and specify that we do the right any center overflow. Or the right overflow, sorry. Because we wanted to carry on going straight for the other items, for the storages. So if we did center any right overflow, that's going to be exactly what we want for this. Okay, and then we're going to take that setting, place it on the same thing as our plastic one. Cool, and now when this gets backlogged, that's going to send through the extras down there and eats it into those two awesome sinks down that side. That's looking good, guys. Okay, so that's the storage is all done. I think we do have enough Mercers to actually do the additional. Let's just have a look here. We got 2, and how much do we need for that? 2 and then 20 in terms of the other for the, what is that one called for the SAM ore? SAM fluctuator. So yeah, let's make a couple more of these, and what we can do is we can actually use 2 of the other Mercers to make 2 new dimensional depots, and then we can just slap all those on top, and then we'll have plastic and rubber with us wherever we go, which is going to be awesome. Cool, let's just grab our Mercers. Nice. Okay, and then we can just go link these 2 up. Cool, and that's just going to start filling into the plastics and the rubber for us. That's great. Now we got that wherever we go. Cool, guys, so that's done in terms of the trains network's done. The fuel plant and the plastic plant is done. I think that wraps up this episode. So I know we've done a lot. We've done everything from the motors to do the AIs, to do the plastic, to do the rubber. We extended the network in terms of the trains. We've done the enhancing of the steel. So super productive, and we've done a whole lot in terms of the fuel factory this side, so we've actually got a lot of power to actually work with, which is awesome for the next couple of episodes. Cool, guys, thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.